What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Just SAYIN podcast. I'm your host, Justine Martindale, and this week I have a very special guest. We have been friends for so long. We have recently reconnected. You have seen her on Netflix. You've seen her shows live here at the Shimmy Shimmy Yeah Yeah. She's got a show next week. She was also the host of the Funny Dance show on the E! Channel, where I was a judge as well. It is the one, the only, Justine Marino.
Hey, thank you. Oh, thank you for that roaring applause.
I know. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
You were just saying before we started rolling that it has been 3 years since we podcasted.
Yes, it has.
Like right down to the day.
Almost truly end
Did
of
you
January.
mark it in your calendar?
I did. I marked it. Well, no, my dad's birthday is February 1st, and it was right around Len's birthday, you know? 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we just let the time go by. 3 years just flew by.
We had a podcast. She actually hosts the Glitter. We had a podcast called Glitter and Garbage. You still have Glitter and Garbage, but now it is rebranded into the Spelling Verse, which is just
a 90210 rewatch podcast.
How many seasons of 90210 were there?
10. So it's going to be, if we're getting through the first season. We're almost done with the first season. And then we'll see from there if we want to keep going. But we can go into Melrose Place. We can go into Models Inc. Anything Spelling Verse, we're into.
Oh my God, Models Inc.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely. And I think it's for the best. Yeah. Yeah. Because it was just like, they just did the model tropes, just like eating disorders, suicide, all
cocaine,
that kind of stuff.
All this
cocaine.
stuff.
Now pink cocaine. But yes, we did. We had a podcast during the pandemic. And it was just stressful. A lot of people say, like, don't work with your friends.
Yeah. Well, don't work and don't live with your friends. And we've done both, and both resulted in falling out for a period of time.
Yes. Not like a feud, like a traditional feud. We just kind of drifted apart in where we wanted the pod to go. It was also just very like I don't know. I just felt very like we didn't know what was going on in the world. It was like we had to reschedule a bunch because like you would get COVID. I think I've had COVID like 10 times. I don't know.
So many times. I got COVID at Beyonce in Las Vegas.
She'll do that to you. She will do that to you. Yeah. But I mean, like, it was just like, okay, we have to like reschedule Zooms, all that kind of stuff. And then it was like, I think I was just started dating Evan there. Yeah. And then it was like, had to help him move. And it was just like a whole bunch of like, and it was just stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, we snapped.
We snapped that day. Looking back now, I'm so glad we're doing this because it really was so funny. When you have a fight with someone, obviously it's like painful and awful. But then I love being able to look back and just see how fucking stupid it was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you remember what it was about?
I remember I was outside of a West Elm. Where feuds tend to happen. I was outside of a West Elm and I'm like, oh, I'm going to let her have it. Yeah, no, I remember where I was shopping with Evan for his apartment at the time.
I had gotten COVID, so we had to push back recording. I got it at Saddle Ranch, so that is on me.
What are you doing?
That is a big part to play that I have to own up
to. Going to Saddle Ranch during COVID, just lick a floor.
I know, never again.
My God.
But then, we were going back and forth because we were going to do a Patreon episode on this Lifetime movie. And I think you were like, hey, because you were helping Evan move, which I didn't realize, you were like, hey, can you do an outline? And I said, Justin, I have COVID. I don't feel like doing an outline. And then from there, it was just like, we got on the phone and had it out.
Yeah.
Like two Aries would.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just two hot-headed Aries. But yeah, and then we just kind of drifted apart.
Well, the last thing you said before you hung up the phone.
Oh, God. Why do you have like the best memory?
I really do. I'm so sorry.
Can't make an outline, but she has a good memory.
Because the outline is in my head, Justin. So it was so funny. We were talking and something came up about Skims, obviously, which I think did play a part in the tension. You were very annoyed. And I have OCD. When I'm into something, I'm really into it. But the last thing you said, we were talking about that Patreon episode where I put on all the cat suits and you roasted me. And you were like, and we had to do that Skims episode. And I go, that episode did really well. And you go, well, then go do a podcast about Skims then. And you hung up the phone, which was kind of iconic.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
if you want to do a podcast about Skims, by all means, just go. Go-y Kardashian.
Go-y
yeah.
Kardashian.
But then it was kind of wild because there was no, I don't know, no hard feelings. I just feel like we just kind of like paused for a couple of years. Like I didn't really run into you or have shows or like, there wasn't any like animosity at all. But it was just kind of like figuring it like all out, I guess, because people were like, "Oh, we know that you guys like don't really engage at all, really more." And I was like, "Well, I've kind of like moved on. I've, shit happens, And then like in the fall, going back, it's just kind of funny because people were just like, "Oh my God, he does this to all women," And I'm like, "Oh my God, no, I don't." But like people were like, "Oh, he did this to his other podcast hosts," and da-da-da-da. I'm like, we actually just like took a break.
Yeah, and we had done that when we lived together. And
Yeah.
it was the same kind of thing where we had like a little bit of a fight and then we just needed some time to cool off.
Yeah.
And it was weird though. It is crazy that we live near each other and perform at all the same clubs and never ran into each other until
I was taking my dog out for a walk. And that was like in the fall, like
I think it was
end of fall.
Yeah, it was like August, September, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. And I was walking Frida, and I'm like looking at her because she likes to like jump out in the street sometimes, and I'm like, no. And I would too if I was walking me.
She's like, it's all over.
I know. And you walked like right by me, and I didn't like piece it together. And you were aggressively waving at me. And you said that I was stomping loudly. And I was like, oh, I know this body language. And you were like, hey. And I'm like, oh, what? And because you don't live on my street.
No, I was walking to the Grove. Full disclosure, I had taken a light microdose of mushrooms.
So you were lost.
I was going to see a movie. I was going to see Deadpool by myself. That's how on mushrooms I was.
Are you okay?
I'm not okay. And I can't, but
what's happened in these 3 years?
That's probably why I reached out. I was like, help me.
Please, I'm going to see Deadpool by myself at the Grove.
But you know what's funny is that I know this is a comedy podcast, but to get a little bit real about it, Shannon Doherty had just passed away.
That's right, yeah.
And I had watched, I'm a huge 90210 fan. Obviously, it's part of what inspired me to turn the podcast into a rewatch pod. But I had watched this episode of Tori Spelling's podcast where she talked about how she and Shannon were best friends during the first couple years and then had a falling out for like decades and had just come back together. And then she passed away.
Late.
And she was like, I lost all those years with her. So I had already been thinking about you. Other people had been, I think, talking to each of us like, you guys should really get back together.
Yeah.
And so I just, in my mind, I was like, if I run into him, if our paths cross, I'm going to say something.
And our paths did cross. I feel like the universe really kind of puts people together for a reason. Whether that be on a random street or on an airplane. It really does. But also, it just goes to show you that, like, it is possible to handle things maturely.
Yeah.
Like adults.
Yeah. Well, I think all feuds should end by saying, what with the death of Shannon Doherty, we should really talk this out.
Honestly, it's just stupid. And it's just like, we saw each other in person and it was just like, how have you been?
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a little awkward at first because I was just like, I didn't piece it together. Like you were even like, is this your dog? And I'm like, are those the mushrooms talking? Like I was like, yeah, that's my dog. And I was like, oh, you don't know I have a dog.
Yeah,
it was just weird.
You didn't know I had gotten bangs, I'm sure.
Well, I knew you had bangs. You've had bangs. You've had bangs. When in doubt, you have bangs. But it was just kind of like, it was just so dumb. And then like after, we figured out what we were going to do. We're like, let's go get coffee. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm not even like following you. Like, oh my God, who cares?
It was so crazy. It really just went from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And then everyone, I don't know about you, but everyone was hitting me up like, why did you kick Justin off the podcast?
Oh, yeah.
And like, and a lot of people were like, what happened? Can you just say something? And we had both decided like, hey, let's figure out what's going on. And then kind of a couple months passed, and it was just, I put a note in one of the show notes when you had officially decided to step away. Because at first you were just taking a break and kind of seeing. And then I think you decided you wanted to do your own thing, which is great. And congrats.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's great. Good job.
No, I mean, yeah, we have a good time here, and it's just I feel like everybody loves drama.
Yes.
And they are expecting like the worst thing to happen.
Yes.
And it's just interesting that it's like there was no dragging.
No.
There was no maliciousness. There was no like, oh, I'm gonna drag Justine's name through the mud. I'll show her. I'm going to take away her opportunities and her sponsors and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, just do your thing and also like handle it like an adult.
Yeah. I'm happy with the way it all played out.
Me too.
Yeah. Because also I feel like if you go do all that, it's so hard. If you publicly do something like that, it's hard to come back from that. It's like killing off a character in a TV show. There's no, like Marissa Cooper on the OC, that's why the show got canceled, because they killed her off. If they had left room for a reconciliation, it might have gone on for as long as 90210 has.
Yeah, if you just handle it maturely, like imagine things can still stay fun and good.
Exactly.
It's just, you know, and you and I have talked about this instance that I'm currently dealt with. It's like, and it's just kind of sad because I feel like we didn't do that and we didn't see each other for way longer than, you know, this other person and I did. You know what I mean? Who you were friends with, we're all friends with. And now it's just kind of like, it just validates like, oh, that's why I don't want that person around anymore.
I feel like everything kind of works out the way it's supposed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just, it's nice, and I'm glad you're here. Now let's talk shit.
Yay!
This week we're brought to you by HelloFresh. Listen up, Just Sayers. We're all busy, I know it, and it can take so much time figuring out what's for dinner night after night, especially on those busy weekdays. We all have better things to do, and I get dinner done the easy way, thanks to HelloFresh. It's easy to find time to eat well with 50 wholesome, hassle-free meals to choose from each week delivered right to your door. HelloFresh's new ready-made meals go from fridge to fork in just 3 minutes. It's the same high-quality ingredients and restaurant-worthy flavor you expect from HelloFresh. The best thing about HelloFresh is how easy it is to create gourmet meals like one of my favorites, the chicken and broccoli stir-fry with green onion rice, delivered right to my door with the easiest instructions, how to cook it, how to chop it, how to mix it all up, but I don't need instructions on how to enjoy it and eat it. Get up to 10 free meals and a high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/SAYIN10FM. That's one item per box per active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on your first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/SAYIN10FM. That's HelloFresh.com/SAYIN10FM. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. So over the weekend, I went to Javier's in Century City.
Okay.
I love Javier's. The tablitas, the best. And I had this weird moment where my old boss, like one of my old bosses, like when I waited tables like many, many, many years ago, was my waiter. It was so weird.
Oh, no. Wait, from the restaurant you worked at for a very long time when we lived together, from Maro's? Or
Oh, no. No, this was from like, I think it's like Hudson House on Sunset.
Oh, okay.
It was like an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was just so weird because like, he was like a really good manager. I liked him. But then I got fired because I was kind of a bitch to the owner's wife.
It happens.
But, well, she was like demanding. And I was like, honey, it's like a day shift. Let's stop. Like, you're getting this food for free. Like,
yeah.
And I also think it was like, you know, having shows late at night and then going to work like during the day. I was just, maybe I was just kind of done. I don't know.
Well,
it just wasn't for me.
How was the boss as a server?
He was good, but it was just really weird because he remembered me and I remembered him. But this must have been 15 plus years. Like, it was a while ago.
So what happened that now he's a server and no longer a manager?
I don't know, but I was just like, hey, how are you? And he was like, hey, what was your name again? And I was like, oh no. And I was like, what's yours too? It was just very, very bizarre. It was very like Black Mirror. I was like, what?
That happened when I was with you one time. We went to that the premiere of that show at CAA. That show you were on with Jodie Sweetin and remember
Hollywood Darlings.
Hollywood Darlings. We went to that, and I used to do catering at CAA, and I was so bad at it. The guy who owned the company was like, "You're
Just
cute,
go.
but you're terrible at this job." And then we ran into him at the bar there, and he was bartending, and he was like, "Oh, you're the bad caterer." So it's weird, but it's like, weird. But now I've made it.
Yeah, now we're just hanging out in a basement on MLK Day. Now, are you familiar with all the Wendy Williams stuff?
How she has dementia?
Does she?
Oh, what?
Does Wendy Williams have dementia?
Now, I loved Wendy Williams because I worked on The Soup, and we lived for Wendy Williams.
Oh,
she
absolutely.
gave us a lot of material.
For sure.
Yes.
Well, she had that documentary come out. I think it was on Lifetime, where she looked really bad.
Yes.
And she was like drinking and hiding booze around the house.
Laying by a window.
Yeah. And just mean. And everyone was just like, we don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Well, she recently called in to Don Lemon, Charlemagne the God. Who was the other one, Lan? Harvey Levin from TMZ.
Oh.
Yeah. And she sounded okay. She was just like, she had her niece with her on the phone, and she was just like, she's telling everyone, like, I'm in a conservatorship and I can't get out. And nobody knows what to do. She's like, I want to get back on television. I have so much to say. Now, the weird thing is that we're like, okay, well, if your family's all around you, who put you in a conservatorship?
Right.
Because clearly we know the most famous conservatorship of all was Britney Spears, and her dad put her in that. Like, that's family. So she has a lawyer, and she has, who else is it, Lan?
Her guardian.
Her guardian.
Who's her guardian?
These two white people. So her lawyer and her guardian are like kind of allegedly like putting her in this conservatorship, and she wants out. She's got more to say. She's not crazy. She's sober-ish. Like, she wants to go back. But however, they're saying like, no, she is cognitively impaired. And Wendy's like, no, I'm not. I'm literally talking to you guys right now coherently. Like, I honestly listened to some of it, and she's like, no, she sounded fine.
Right.
But she is now hitting back at her guardianship's attorney's claim about her supposed good days and bad days, saying the statement is actually a bunch of hogwash.
Hogwash. Was hogwash the word used?
I really hope she used hogwash.
I hope so.
How you hogwash? The legendary TV personality tells TMZ Roberta Kaplan, who is the attorney representing the guardianship in its lawsuit against the makers of the Where is Wendy Williams series, has no business commenting on her mental state, and she's never even met the lawyer. So she adds, how would she know that? I've never met Roberta Kaplan, and I have never talked with her. I'm isolated and locked away in a luxury prison. Oh, God.
At least it's luxury.
I know.
Thank
what a
God.
dream.
Yeah.
So much for the Me Too movement.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
What?
I've never talked with this attorney. I'm isolated and locked away in a luxury prison. So much for the Me Too movement. Oh, okay. Well,
What?
Doing no favors.
That sounded cognitively impaired.
Yeah, that I'm like, did she mean to say the Free Britney movement? Like,
no, I think she got her movements mixed up.
It happens.
And seeing as much as I've seen her fart on camera, she's got a lot of movements. Wendy's clapback comes a day after Roberta spoke with TMZ, where she said that Wendy is still struggling with frontal lobe dementia, even though Wendy sounded lucid and like herself on The Breakfast Club last Thursday morning. So she says, per Roberta, Wendy has moments of clarity, but dementia has no cure, which is why Sabrina Morrissey has been appointed to handle her personal affairs. Morrissey is an estate administration attorney and has been Wendy's guardian for the last several years. But Wendy, however, has painted an entirely different picture of her situation, revealing in the Rare interview that she doesn't think she's cognitively impaired. Well, I feel like if you're cognitively impaired, you're not going to admit that you're cognitively impaired.
Right. And also with dementia, don't you have like moments of clarity and then you're cognitively impaired again? Like, remember Brittany when she had...
I feel like everyone's cognitively impaired.
In this day and age, absolutely. A million percent.
What day is it? Where am I?
But do you remember with Brittany, she had to do that phone call that we all listened to make her case to get out of her conservatorship? And she
that was
sounded...
weird.
But she sounded...
Congested.
But she sounded like she was making perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's been a little iffy. So, I mean, I don't, it's tough. I don't know. But I'm reading, she said she only has $15 to her name.
Mm-hmm. Because they're saying they're like kind of milking her estate and kind of taking all her money. And the TMZ has reached out to Roberta for comment with no avail. Like she has not responded. So, interesting. I don't know. I mean...
What do you think?
I don't know, but because of course there's like conspiracy theories.
Let me know. Again, I told you I just started getting into TikTok.
Into TikTok, into talk.
Into talk.
We'll get into
cognitively
TikTok.
impaired.
Yeah. TikTok. If you're cognitively impaired, you're on TikTok. Cognitively impaired is a hard word to say.
It is.
There's a lot of things and speculation because on The Breakfast Club, she was like, I knew all this stuff about Diddy. I have so much to say. I want to get back on television and say it all. And she also said the most infamous 2 words in 2025 so far, Diddy done.
Well, I think she's right there. That makes me feel like she is cognitively paired, I guess. Like,
Wendy, are you cognitively paired? Yeah, so I don't know. The conspiracy theories are saying like they're trying to like hush her from all of this. Because Wendy has a mouth.
Yes.
And she will name names and everyone's just kind of waiting for names.
I mean, are you familiar with Jaguar Wright?
Does it look like I am?
Does anyone know?
What safari are you on?
Thank you, one person.
Wait, what's Jaguar Wright?
Jaguar Wright
is that like a conservative jaguar?
No, Jaguar Wright is a woman who used to sing. She sang backup on Jay-Z's acoustic album.
Oh.
She was kind of poised to be, I believe, like a Mary J. Blige, like superstar. But then she says she didn't want to sign a deal with the devil and pulled out, and they shunned her from the industry. And she's been speaking out about Diddy forever, and people have always called her crazy. But now that all this is coming to light, it kind of makes you wonder how much is crazy, how much isn't.
There's so much more that we just don't know, and we won't really know about it. But I do feel like it will crack over time. Like, there's the whole thing about the little girl from The Ring.
Oh, yeah.
And how she was at, like, I think it was like the MTV Movie Awards, and she won, like, for Best Villain and was up against, like actors.
Yeah.
And she was, like, 13 and, like, a little girl. And, like, Diddy and Ashton, like, presented her the award. And it was, like, in the, what's it called? In the manuscript or whatever that put Diddy away, there was an alleged, sexual assault of this like 13-year-old girl. And everyone's like, was it her? Because where did she go? Where's the Ring girl?
There are so many cases like that. I watch a lot of TikTok lawyers who break down the Diddy stuff and the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively. I'm ready. I feel like I've been to law school with
Your
all the
algorithm is very different from mine. Mine's just like cowboys with thick thighs crushing watermelons with their legs.
Oh, mine's nonstop Justin Baldoni and Landon Barker lip syncing The Fray. Like, it's so weird.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what I'm putting out there, but I kind of love it, I have to say.
Yeah. Every now and then I'll get like a trap wife or whatever, a trad wife.
Trad wife. A trap wife.
A trap wife, yeah. I'll get a trap wife, cognitively impaired. All right. Well, Wendy, we hope you I would love to hear from her again. I want to just hear unhinged. Like all of it.
I love Wendy. Wendy she had that wild show like Jerry Springer. It was the Jerry Springer of our time.
It's crazy because I remember when it aired and they would like slap her face all over like buses.
Yeah.
And she got like her first season and then it was like, oh, she's been picked up for like 3 more seasons.
Yeah.
And then it was like 11 years. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, that's so much time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of unhinged, Jonas.
Oh.
In drag?
This Bob. It's a Karen Bob, no?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's definitely giving entitled housewife. It's Becky Robinson's new wig. But he went glamour over the weekend with hair and makeup for a drag cameo on TikTok. Now, was this a cameo, like the Cameo app, or no, he was just wanting to do drag on TikTok?
It wasn't capitalized, so I think it was just like him doing a cameo, not getting paid. Right? It would be capitalized if it were the app.
Girl.
He just wanted to put on a wig. Who among us? Justin, I've seen you in many a wig, okay? Some with leaves in it, okay?
Yes, there.
You wore.
It was a windy day that day, and yeah, no, but it is so. So there's. I love that they have to tell you it was a hilarious clip. This is a hilarious clip of Joe rocking a short do with side bangs, blush, and pink lipstick as he dramatically lip syncs the line, "I'm going roller skating, don't touch my stuff." The clip is pure 90s nostalgia because Joe's channeling a scene from Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I don't remember this scene. Do you?
No, I think we're being gaslit.
Yeah.
And he's fully in character, rocking a chic choker cutout black top to match the drama. It's unclear if Joe was just having fun playing dress up or if this was part of a secret project, but fans were shook. Some were confused, while others admitted this wasn't on their 2025 bingo card, but they were so here for it. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
It's giving brick Jonas. It's just hard. There's no there's no contour.
Yeah. I mean, the makeup, I feel he has the money to have. There aren't even any lashes.
No.
I mean, where are the lashes?
You don't even have a lash. The lip is wrong. The color's wrong. Let's see. Oh no.
Oh no. He looks like he works at the Mac counter, but is like given up, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely, it's Mac. I hate it. I'm really mad now because there's so many drag queens who really go all out. If Joe had really like gone out, I would have been like, okay, cool. Because the outfit's not that bad. I'll take the choker. It's fine. But just the eyebrows, girl, get a glue stick.
Yeah.
Glue them down.
Well, I mean, he has great full eyebrows that we love. But yeah, I feel like a little bit more taming in the eyebrows and just a little bit more of an eye and a lip, all of it. No contour, to your point.
No contour whatsoever.
None.
And if you're on TikTok, I know how to contour.
Yeah.
And I don't even put on makeup. I just learned it on TikTok.
Yeah.
And crushing watermelons with my legs. So I think Joe, this is either like I want to be funny or we think Joe needs more gay friends.
I feel like it's got to be part of something, right? Like, is he teasing something? Is this from a music video? Does he have new music coming out? Do we know?
But if you're going to do a music video, you got to like
bring it.
Yeah. I don't want to see like this mall employee, my old manager in drag, you know?
That's him serving you at the Westfield Century City.
I said shrimp and steak, not chicken. Now let's go into some opulence. Jennifer Tilly, who I adore. Are you watching Housewives at all?
No, I've never gotten that dark, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
It's very, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City,
I watched a little Dallas when I was on the Soup. I watched Dallas and
the new
Atlanta.
one?
No, I think they got rid of
Housewives of Dallas.
Housewives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Dynasty.
You're back in the spelling verse.
I know. I'm like, are you watching the JR shooting?
No. Housewives
Dallas.
of
Dallas.
And
R.I.P.
I've seen some, yeah, I know.
Got rid of them, and then they had the Salt Lake reunion, which was the most chaotic thing I've ever seen. If you've never seen an episode of Housewives, just watch this last season's season finale. Last season we had what was her name? Reality Von Tease, her reveal. I know. See what you're missing?
Okay.
And then this one was the most chaotic Puerto Vallarta trip. They're at a restaurant. They're screaming. One tit was hanging out.
Oh, not a tit.
They had like flowers and marigolds just throwing them at each other like it was just like a unhinged Coco. Like it was crazy.
I love that it was marigolds.
Yeah.
What a dramatic thing
They're
to
like,
throw.
what did you say? My husband didn't circle jerk anyone. Like that.
Wow.
It's great. But Jennifer Tilly is a friend on this season of Beverly Hills Housewives. So she is friends with Sutton. I think she's also friends with Kathy Hilton. But they actually, this past week, they went to the Viper Room, which I was like, okay.
Oh.
I know. I was like, all right. And they had a huge fight.
Of course.
Dorit and Kyle are just scratching each other's eyes out because Kyle is still texting Dorit's ex. And she's like, it's all memes, I swear. And then she shows them a text saying like, I haven't said anything. I won't say anything. And you're like, that's not memes.
That is not memes.
I know.
We need to subpoena these texts.
I know. Oh, it'll all come out. Mark my words. So now everyone's kind of been talking about Jennifer Tilly because she's loaded.
Oh, yeah.
Like loaded.
Yeah.
And no one really kind of knew about it until like a couple weeks ago. And she says, well, you know, I'm astonished that people are so interested in my finances after joining the season. Number one, I don't think of myself as rich, but I guess I'm delusional because I do have several properties and a purse apparently that costs $33,000. I thought everybody knew that I had a piece of The Simpsons.
What?
Her ex-husband was like one of the creators of The Simpsons.
You mean all this money didn't come from the movie Bound?
You would think. I know. Gina Gershon didn't loan it to her? I know.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Her ex-husband was like one of the like founders or creators of The Simpsons, which is like, 40 seasons later. So she got a big old chunk.
Oh, okay. No prenup. Let's
I know.
go.
So she says, I thought everybody knew that I had a piece of The Simpsons. It's not a large piece, but even a little piece is something to write home about. She has 4 homes, one in Las Vegas, a beach house in Malibu, we think still. Oh God.
Oh.
And 2 properties right next door to each other is the uber pricey Bel Air neighborhood. So she has a home and a home in Bel Air next door to each other.
Is one for guests or something? Like
I don't know, but she even says in the show that she doesn't frequent her Malibu home.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you ask? Just guess why you don't think Jennifer Tilly goes to her Malibu home as much as she used to.
now?
Well,
Now
I know.
or 2 weeks
Now I'm
ago?
like, oh, can we check and see if Jennifer Tilly's home is okay?
For me, if I had a Malibu home, I'm thinking like it's closer to the water. There's more of an opportunity for frizz. So I would be staying away just because of my hair fear of hair getting frizzy.
Okay, close.
Okay.
Ghosts.
Okay.
Yes, she thinks that her home is like haunted. And she's like, nah, I'm not going to go there as much. And you're like, okay.
I get it. You know, Brittany Murphy, the house that she died in, Britney Spears owned it originally and got a bad vibe. And I think while she was moving in, felt ghosts and left. And then Brittany
After Brittany? Oh, no, before.
Before. And then after Brittany Murphy died in that house. So sometimes I think it's good to stay away from a ghost house, personally.
I don't think it was ghosts, though. I think it was baby oil induced pneumonia.
Ooh, we're back to conspiracies.
That's what I think.
You got to meet my friend Jaguar Wright. I mean, she would be saying the same thing.
I honestly, because it's that whole thing, I was like, Brittany Murphy knew something. You don't just be, how old was Brittany Murphy? Like 30?
Yeah.
And dropped dead of pneumonia?
And then the husband died of the
pneumonia?
same thing. But also there was a weird thing with the husband and the mom, Brittany's mom too.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
I think they did like a photo shoot after she died or something.
Oh, yeah. And there was like Olin Mills. They were just like,
yes,
our love will never die.
Yeah.
Like, but your daughter did.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyway,
more rich people.
Wow.
Okay. So Jessica Alba confirms her split from Cash Warren after nearly 17 years of marriage. She says that this is a new chapter of growth, unlike her acting career. Now, Jessica Alba has confirmed her split from Cash Warren 1 week after reports surfaced that the two had separated and were headed for divorce. The actress took to social media Thursday to confirm the news. I've been on a journey of self-realization and transformation for years, both as an individual and in partnership with Cash. She did this on an Instagram post. Don't do this shit on an Instagram post.
Well, I think people have been talking about them splitting up for years.
I know. Well, they've been together forever.
Yeah.
I mean, she
She's
says,
hot.
she
Real
is.
hot.
I'm proud of how we've grown in our marriage over the last 20 years, and it's now time for us to embark on a new chapter of growth and evolution as individuals. We are moving forward with love, kindness, and respect for each other. We'll forever be a family. Our children remain our highest priority, and we request privacy at this time. But I'm going to put this shit on Instagram anyways.
Yeah.
Warren, for his part, remained quiet on social media about the split. Now, she created the Honest brand, which is very popular.
Yeah.
So this is is there a prenup for this one?
They've been together so long, I'm not sure. But I mean, this is not all the Jessicas, the greatest Jessicas of the 2000s are getting divorced.
It's a Jessica January for sure.
It is. I was shopping to do a donation for the fires, and they needed pee pads for dogs.
So you gave him yours?
Yes, I did. No, at Ross, Jessica Simpson has a brand of pee pads.
That tracks though.
Right? And I did get them because I was like, she's going through a divorce. She's
got to piss.
Yeah.
Let her piss.
Yeah.
Wait, it's dog pee pads?
It's dog pee pads.
Is Jessica Simpson on the front of the package?
Yes, she is. I have a picture of it in my phone, but I'm sure you could find it. Just Jessica Simpson collection pee pads, and it's her holding like a golden doodle, and she looks so gorgeous.
Is it doodling down her leg?
It's doodling. It's just piss dripping down her leg.
She's like, I think I'm in love. Oh, wow. Wait.
Wow.
Oh.
This is taking us down a different road.
Jessica Simpson piss pads.
Pee pads. Doggy pee pads.
Oh.
They were at Ross, you guys. If you need them, you know what? She's a billionaire, so I really, more than Jessica Alba, because we don't know that she's confirmed billionaire. Jessica Simpson, I hope she has a prenup.
Yes, she is. Well, Jessica Simpson's probably, I think her net worth is like $400 million, but her Jessica brand, her shoes and all that stuff is definitely in the billion mark. But
see, she has dog beds too. And Paris Hilton has a whole line of dog stuff.
I'm sorry, but that as someone who has a dog with a dog bed, this looks like shit. This is a shitty dog bed. That's awful. That is a terrible
teal paw prints.
That's off. That does not look comfortable at all.
No, it's not good.
No,
anyway,
this is awful.
Guys, if you're at Ross, let's help a girl out. We don't know if she has a prenup. Let's get her that coin.
But also, Jessica Simpson has tried out her own pee pads. I think she has.
Really?
I think so.
She's like, I make sure every pee pad is ready to go.
I think she does. I think she's, she had a problem with alcohol a couple years.
Well, I feel like she probably tested it back then.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's like, this is for the dog moms who might need to borrow.
Dog moms. Yeah. And it's like, girl, you're pissing in the kitchen again. I mean, I've had a moment or two where I've just like peed. Not crazy, but like, you pee sometimes and you're like, that's not the bathroom, Yeah.
I feel like it's easier for you though. A girl, like you have to really try to pee in a place that's not. I'm bad at squatting. Anytime I squat, I pee on my pants. So I don't try it anymore.
Well, look at her there. She's probably like...
She's a pro. That is pro level.
I think that was when the pee pad came into existence, the idea.
We're watching the inception of the pee pad right here.
I'm going to make pee pads, y'all. Oh, wow. So she's getting divorced now as well. Jessica, it's a Jessica dry January.
It is.
They are just like leaving their man.
He's hot though.
Who?
He's a babe. I think
Alba?
Cash is hot.
Cash is very hot.
Yeah.
But she just said that the spark just kind of disappeared.
It happens.
But I'd be like, I don't know. He's kind of hot.
He's hot, I think.
Yeah.
But she's always been in a position of power with him because wasn't he like a PA on something she worked on? Isn't that how they met? She's always been a little bit, I think, the breadwinner. You know?
I kind of gave up on Jessica Alba when she was Sue Storm in Fantastic Four.
Got it.
Not with those contacts, not with that hair, not with that hairline. Joe Jonas, take notes.
I met her one time and she was very nice. Yeah. I felt like a troll standing next to her. She's so beautiful in person, but she was lovely, and I wasn't sure because she kind of looks like she could go either way because she's so hot. You think
she's like bi?
No, like a bitch or not a bitch. I was really trying to. I was
God, leave her alone. We were just at an event. You're like, hey, Jessica Alba. Meanwhile, I'm testing out a Jessica Simpson pee pad, and you're just trying to swing with her and
Hitting
Cash.
on Jessica Alba. I'm like, I'll fuck either of you.
I know. Let's go. Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor don't take a day for granted after reconciling. See, remember when they like split up?
Yes, it's been a couple times too, I think.
Yeah. And now she is back, and I love her so much.
I know.
They've been together for 25 years. And he still says that his marriage to her is special. During an appearance on The View, the Severance director, which still blows my mind that Ben Stiller is the director of Severance. Have you watched Severance?
Yes, the first season. The new season, first episode's out, right? Yeah, no, Severance is incredible.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's truly like, it's like The Office meets Black Mirror meets The Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Like, you're just like, what is this show? It's so good. If you haven't watched it, do yourselves a favor. Apple TV, like Apple Plus, watch it.
It's great.
But yeah, I like at the end, it's always like directed by Ben Stiller. And I'm like, what? It blows my mind.
He's a great director.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And the first scene, I feel like Lee, you're a nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Have you
nerd
watched
shaming.
Oh, yeah.
That first scene where he's just running through, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, and actually they released like the first like 5 minutes or whatever,
Yeah.
like a few weeks ago, and I watched it like 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Good, yeah.
crazy good. And also, they did a pop-up in New York City where they were the actors were actually in like a box, like
that's
a
fun.
plastic see-through box.
Yeah.
And Ben Stiller was the proud dad.
That's Ben Stiller, right?
That's Jessica Simpson at the Severance premiere. Get out of here, Jessica. Take
like,
your
"My
pee
pee
pad somewhere else. So yeah, so they put it like kind of like in this like You box.
Wow.
Netflix's You, which is coming back, final season. Can't wait.
But the last season was trash, right?
I can't remember what the last season was. Was it with the woman when she went to Paris?
It was the British. The love interest was the British woman.
kinda boring.
It was
I didn't like
boring.
it. Yeah.
I didn't love it.
But yeah, they're all in this box
Wow.
on like the actual set. All the actors are there. It's kind of crazy. And then Ben Stiller is like proud dad with like his camera in the crowd, like recording them. So yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, great show.
Yeah.
But back to Christine and Ben. So he went on The View. They separated in 2017, but were able to strengthen their bond when they rekindled their relationship several years later during COVID.
See?
Yeah.
COVID wrecks some relationships and
heals
brings others
I know.
together.
I don't know how it happened other than we both wanted it. And they said they fell back in love. And so they're back together again. And I love it so much because I just love Christine Taylor. I honestly think she's like one of the most underrated actresses in Hollywood.
Agree.
I'm sorry. To this day, the best Marsha Brady
Oh,
of all time.
oh, so good.
So good. And just the best bitch in the craft.
Yes. Oh, she's so good in The Craft. Ooh. I forget she's in The Craft.
I don't.
She is so good. And I mean, obviously, like since Hey Dude, I've loved her.
Oh, Hey Dude. Yeah.
Hey Dude.
That's where she started on Nickelodeon. And like just that scene where she's just like sitting on the floor, like pulling her hair out. She's like, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, yes.
You were a bitch. That's what happened.
You're a bitch. You crossed the wrong bitch, witch. So yes, it can happen that love can bring people together during, weird times. I don't know if the Jessicas are going to pull like Christine and try it again, but who knows?
Maybe. I mean, I hope so. Especially Jessica and Cash. Jessica Simpson, because she, I think, was drinking when she got married to Eric.
I mean, who doesn't?
But now that she's sober, maybe she's like, oh, this isn't my guy, you know? So I support Jessica through all endeavors. Did you listen to her audiobook or read it?
Oh, I read it.
Oh.
I can't do audiobooks.
Oh, I love it. I love
do it.
listening to them.
Wait, did she read the
She
audiobook?
read it.
Oh, can she read? Okay. Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But also I'm just kind of like, I feel like, was it Jessica on the like Ozempic trend? But like, she was like, I breathe there. That was my trick.
So. I think so. Which there's no shame. Everyone's on
No,
Ozempic.
I know. It's like, I had a leaf. I had a romaine lettuce and I lost all the weight. I'm like, okay. So maybe this is like Jessica wanting like a, back out. Apparently she's making new music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But have you seen Jessica Simpson on TikTok?
No.
Okay. There's a lot of people that post like old clips of Jessica Simpson, like doing like parades. Remember she was like kind of, that late 90s, early 2000s.
And the over singing.
And the over singing and all that stuff. So I'm interested to see if she
took notes from that criticism.
I love it when people take notes.
I do too. I love a note. It helps you improve.
Yeah. Well, here's someone who doesn't need to take notes. OnlyFans model Lily Phillips says that she slept with 101 men. She has now voiced her concern about her extreme content.
Ugh.
Yeah. Now, a sex worker who slept with 101 men, which is not a Disney reboot. Very specific 101 dadmations. She slept with 101 men and in a day has revealed her one concern. Just one. With her extreme content. Lily Phillips, an OnlyFans content creator from the UK, recently went viral after sleeping with 101 men in 14 hours. The stunt, which was filmed for a documentary, was a practice run. Oh my God. When she planned to break a world record and have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours. After she slept with 101 men, one more than she planned to. It's always the case. She broke down in tears after being quizzed by documentary maker Josh Peters, asking about it afterwards. It's not for the weak girls. If I'm honest, it was hard. Well, so were they.
Yeah.
She said Peters immediately after she'd finished. I don't know if I would recommend it. It's kind of like being a prostitute in the sense of it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Thoughts?
I don't know if I'd recommend it. Like, who would you recommend this to? Also, I'm trying to do the math. How many people per hour? 100 divided by 14.
If Lily bones 101 guys in one day.
This is definitely on the SATs this year.
How many men is too many men for Lily?
Yes. Now, I am on, as you know, OnlyFans because they do this comedy special. They're trying to branch out into comedy.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, I'm railing 102 men.
I'm railing 100, so she can back the fuck down, Lily.
I'll see you in hell, Lily.
But it has
my God.
But
exclusive update from Justine Marino.
Well, I wanted to mention the word exclusive. People, these guys that are joining, I clearly say exclusive comedy content. And they get on and they see it's all just comedy and
they hate you for it.
And they're like, can't wait for the exclusive content, wink, wink. And I said to my boyfriend, I go, I don't think people are here for my comedy.
No, they're not there. Well, wait, explain to the listeners, because I feel like everyone's always like, oh, OnlyFans is just like sex, really.
So they're trying to branch out and they started doing like maybe a year or two ago, these comedy specials. They're 10-minute specials. They look amazing. They shoot them all over different cities. The one I did was at the Ice House. They've done several of them. A lot of my friends had done it. And you just have to be on OnlyFans. You set up an OnlyFans and post, and then you release your special and you do the clips. And it's been great. But again, I think a lot of people sign on thinking that exclusive is code for
she's going to show toes.
She's going to show tits.
I'm going to see her toes and tits.
Yeah.
You're just up there naked with a microphone.
I know.
Well, I mean, I feel like some people can make it like a little like
edgy, risque.
I'm going to tell jokes with one shoulder out.
Yes.
For all the Quaker fans out there.
Exactly. And my Quaker fans come to me. It's not very prude OnlyFans.
If you're in her $10 tier, she'll show you a knee.
Yes, exactly. Watch out. I've had physical therapy.
Good for you. I feel like it's kind of crazy. I do love that
kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I do love that the director is like asks her a question and she's like, I'm like, well, yeah,
this
honey.
made me sad. I read about this a couple, maybe like a week or two ago, and it did make me sad because she's like, oh, it's hard. I don't you could tell it doesn't seem like it's good for her mentally.
I'm sorry. What gave that away? 101 dudes?
Well, and now she's going to do 1,000 in 24 hours.
That vagina's going to leave her body and walk away.
It is.
It's going to have a stick with like a little picnic handkerchief at the end of it. It's
I'm running away.
Hitchhike down the road. Get me out of here.
Running away from home.
that poor thing. Her vagina probably looks like Elizabeth Sparkle at the end of the Substance.
My.
Crawling back on the star.
Justin. You really did the whole act out there on the tape. I mean, she's pretty though.
She's gorgeous.
Got great brows.
But her vagina is like, it's me, Sue. Kill me, please.
It's me, Sue.
That's too many. It's too many. And I don't want people being like, stop shaming her. And I'm like, 101 people is too many.
Yeah, it was too many Dalmatians and it's too many dicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pee pads.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So many Jessica Simpson pee pads in that house. I mean, good for you, but like, oh man.
Yeah.
Is there like a vetting process? Like
for the guys?
I mean,
do they send in like a resume?
Do you just pass out at some point?
Well, when I read the article, it said that
when I slept with 101.
well, last week when I did it, she said that like each guy I think got like a couple of minutes, and the thing that made it pretty icky was she was like, some of them tried to get more, and I was like, ooh. So I mean,
do you have to see what they look like? I mean, there's not.
Oh, do you have to see? I don't think it's through like a sheet, you know. Oh, yeah. Do you get to choose if they're hot or not?
Yeah.
I hope.
I would be like, okay, let's swipe left or right on all these guys.
I hope there was an audition process, personally. like just at least a casting call with like a photo and come in and tell me your name and like a couple.
Don't say come in. Yeah. Don't say that. We don't need to say that part.
Did she inspect the dicks before? They all must have been tested, right?
I don't know. I have so many questions.
And also, were they using protection? Because that, introduces a whole new level of like friction, and it's not super. After 101 in 14 hours.
Like I keep thinking of like an old VHS tape, like where they're like, "Hey, I just want a minute with you," like with a rose. Yeah. I'm your guy. Just 1 minute. That's all I'm asking. And is it just like, and then we're done, or is it like?
Yeah, it's like does a timer go off, you know? I have a lot of questions, but then I also don't want to know anything.
I think it's best we don't know and just like...
Thoughts and prayers.
Good for you, girl.
Okay, yep.
Get that coin.
Get that money.
All right, and finally we have Gen Z is already going gray.
I have a lot of thoughts about this.
Let's go. Health experts sound the alarm as teens show off silver locks on social media. Now, over the weekend, we had the ban that shook the world.
I thought my law degree wasn't going to be finished.
The stupidest thing. That was the stupidest thing. There's so many stupid things happening right now.
Yeah.
But that was like the dumbest thing. The TikTok ban, first of all, I have so many thoughts on it.
Yeah.
It felt real. It was a stunt.
Obviously.
I'm going to say it was a stunt.
Yes.
The stunt was stunted. And I thought it was really like weird. There's so many levels of weird about it. Like you had the creator of TikTok like release this like weird Squid Game video, like where he's just like, we are trying to keep TikTok open and we'll do it as best we can. Like it was just very like, ooh, I don't like it.
Yeah. Ew, I don't like it.
Yeah, I was waiting for like the little doll to be like, green light. Like I was waiting for that. And then seeing how people were panicked.
Yeah. Oh, truly panicked.
Losing their shit.
I thought I knew it would come back. I didn't know it would be just 12 hours. Like that.
Was it even 12 hours?
I think it went out at 9.
Yeah.
And then by 9 the next morning, it was back, right?
Yeah.
So, it was real quick. It was shorter
really
than I
disappointed.
Thought. You thought we'd get a little bit more of a break.
I wanted a little like extended, give them a little more time.
Yeah.
Like Lily and her suitors, like give them more than a minute. I felt like it was just like I wanted it to. I'm like, let them freak out.
Yeah.
Give it like a day or two. Give it like 4 days. Like let everyone figure out what the hell they're gonna do next.
Yeah.
I do see it as like a lot of people, have their businesses. They get to promote their, small business shops, all that kind of stuff. And I get that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, that's gonna impact your business. But also it was just like, there were both sides. People were like, tell everyone to get a real job. And then like, no, this is our real job. And then people wanting to take credit for it when it wasn't even their idea. But then, you have the new elected president saying like, I want it banned, and then being like, no, we need to save it. It was just a lot of contradiction. And then for it to come back like 12 hours, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I was edged, and not in a good way.
Edged?
I was just kind of like, oh, it's gone. And then, oh, it's back.
Yeah.
And I spent the weekend with my friend, Blake, and his boyfriend, who is 22 years old.
What? Oh.
Yeah. And Gen Z.
Okay.
And lets me know that
Oh, yeah. I have
Gen Z.
I have a Gen Z friend.
Yeah.
She always lets me know.
Yeah. It was just very like, oh my God, that's so 1900s. And I'm like, I know, right? Gross.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
We were born in the 1900s.
I was born in the 1900s.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was a great century.
Sorry you weren't here for the 80s,
Sorry
babe.
you weren't here. Yeah. You know what? I'll never forget 9/11. You don't know about it.
Yep.
But also like, it was kind of crazy because we were at dinner and we were like, okay, let's do some like trivia with this Gen Zer. And he's very sweet. I'm not trying to like trash it, but it was kind of crazy. He was like, have you seen The Parent Trap? And he's like, oh yeah. And he was like, who's in The Parent Trap? And he's like, that one girl.
Oh no, he did not call Lindsay that one girl. No.
We were like, Lindsay Lohan? He goes, yeah, but that movie's old. It like came out in like 1998. I'm like,
That's so crazy.
I felt like what's Jane Fonda in Monster in Law when she's talking to the Britney Spears girl about the interview. And she's like, you don't even know what Roe versus Wade is. And she's like, I don't support violence. And it was like, It was insane.
No, it's crazy. So at my birthday party last year, we were talking about Sharon Stone came up, and my Gen Z, we were like, oh, do you know who Sharon Stone is? And she's like, no. And I was like, who doesn't know who Sharon Stone is?
Yeah.
She's an icon.
Yeah.
Iconic. I schooled her. I taught her. I've been teaching her. I've been showing her 90s movies and made her a 90s playlist. But I can only do so much, you know?
It's very true. I do that with my niece, make her a little 90s playlist. And I'll every now and then, I did it yesterday. I was like, who is this? And she's like, Zig.
Oh, no.
Spice Girls? And I'm like,
oh, thank God. Thank God. Yes. Okay.
You have passed the assignment.
Yes.
But now I'm like, Gen Z's going gray. Hooray! Sucks, guys.
Yeah.
The root problem of premature graying might not just be for stress or genetics, according to experts. There's no silver lining to this. Many members of Gen Z are already going gray, with some Zoomers as young as 19 showing off their silver tresses on TikTok. According to a 2021 study, hair graying usually begins in the mid-30s for Caucasians, the late 30s for Asians, and the mid-40s for Africans, meaning some members of Gen Z are experiencing the phenomenon almost 2 decades early. What may be a novelty to youngsters is alarming to experts who say premature graying may indicate a plethora of health issues. This health coach said it's surefire sign of mineral imbalances. In a recent social media clip that scored more than 7 million views, she asserted it was high levels of zinc and calcium and low levels of iron and manganese that would be contributing to gray sprouting from the scalp. She added that copper too could be to blame. She says it's no surprise copper, zinc, and iron play a role in, what does that say? Tyrosinase activity. This is an enzyme essential for pigment synthesis. She told the outlet the premature graying is typically seen in people with iron deficiency, anemia, iron supplements. Interesting. She says stress is another level of factor in premature graying, but the extent to which it contributes compared to other factors remains unclear. Copper helps our body combat oxidative stress, and chronic stress may deplete copper levels, leading to premature gray hair. So the kids are stressed.
They are. Now, as someone who at 3 years old had a white hair and my parents took me to the doctor, I feel like I can speak to this.
Like, white hair?
One white hair, because my hair's so dark, because I came out with a full head of hair.
Yeah.
And it's dark, so it shows. So I had a white hair, so I'd always had like one or two, but then I remember when I was 25, I was filming a sketch downtown, and there was this big window, and I had this very good mirror that really picked up all the imperfections. And I flipped my hair to one side and I had a patch. I was 25.
Wow.
A patch of grays. I'll never forget that day. I gasped. I was like,
Yeah.
And now, I have a few more. But my aunt also, I think part of it is maybe genetic. Because my aunt said that I texted her, I go, oh my God, I have grays. And she goes, oh, you're lucky. 25? I had them in high school.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes you're just, unlucky in the genetic.
Well, we're both Italian as well.
Yes.
And so, like, I know my dad has a full white head of hair.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
whites.
It's weird because my dad, who you've met, he's still salt and pepper and has a full head of hair. So I'm like, why the fuck does he win the lotto and I get the fucking grays?
Yeah. I mean, I know that he has a full head of white hair. Doesn't mean I talk to him. No. But I don't, I know,
But you keep up with his
I get
hair.
them right here.
Yeah.
And they're like white. Like, not even gray, just like white. I get them right here at the base of my neck right here.
Yeah.
And then I get them like right here. But I'm also like, I didn't go gray for like a long time.
Yeah.
Am I getting my hair done tomorrow? Absolutely.
Are you dyeing them? Are you dyeing?
Not dyeing them. No. I'm just going out and getting some sun. Getting some zinc. I'm getting some copper and I just need some iron.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Guys, it looks hot on, I think. The salt and pepper. I think guys can kind of get away with it a little bit more. Although I think a lot more women are embracing the gray. I mean, Diane Keaton looks great. She's fully gray and she looks cool. I am not that confident. I will still be dying until the end of time, I think.
I get that too. And I just feel like that's also, but I have not seen this. I haven't seen this trend. That's definitely something that I'm going to watch. Be like these kids being like, I'm going gray.
Shame them. Call them millennials. Call them Gen X.
Have you guys ever seen Titanic? No. But also it reminds me of like Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. When Freddy Krueger comes to Gen Z, Nightmare on Elm Street is a wonderful family film to help you go to sleep at night. You'll be very rested after you watch it.
Good dreams after that one.
Great dreams. Good dreams. Watch them all. Watch all the whole thing. But yeah, it reminds me when like Freddy Krueger like comes after Nancy and she's like in high school. She wakes up with like gray hair. Yeah. Because it scared the shit out of her.
Yeah.
But also it's iron, copper, and zinc.
I'll say I'm vegan, as you know, and even before...
Here it comes.
Even before being vegan, I didn't eat a ton of meat. So it kind of makes sense with the iron deficiency thing, because I probably have lower iron. I'm not anemic or anything, but I probably don't get as much iron as people who eat meat. So that might contribute to my grays.
But I also feel like maybe that's it. There could be a lot more like vegan TikTokers, but also I feel like a lot of them maybe don't go outside and get
That's true. They don't.
sun.
No, they don't.
Like, it's a very everyone's on the couch scrolling all day or whatever. It's these kids are just, not running around getting their exercise.
They need to run around and get their exercise.
Their parents need to say, get on your bike and don't come home until the sun sets.
Exactly.
Like God intended. But yeah, so interesting. But we shall definitely see. I'm interested to see what happens now that TikTok is back.
I wonder if the ban created any grays for anyone. I'm sure a lot of people
lost their shit. Are you kidding me?
I think they did.
I think it's so funny too how people are like, oh, thank God it's back. And here's what's kind of gross. And I'm going to leave everyone with this. I am a good person. And I kind of like look at things and be like, I get curious every now and then. And I'm like, there was a guy, who's the guy on Shark Tank? Not Mark Cuban, but the other one. He's like the bald kind of asshole guy.
I'm not a big Shark Tank.
Well, I love Shark Tank in my hotel rooms. Kevin O'Leary, yeah. He was like, okay, all these billionaires were like, I'm going to save TikTok, right? Everyone's like, I'm going to buy it. It's only $20 billion.
Sure.
And I will save TikTok. And I'm like, $20 billion? How much would it cost to help with world hunger, especially after these fires. Everyone's donating and doing like all they can. I was like, how much do you think it would cost to really make a dent in world hunger?
Yeah.
23 billion.
Wow.
So we're more concerned
of
with
course.
a social media app than actually helping people who can't eat at night or during the day or ever.
Well, also, a billion is, people don't realize how much more a billion is than a million. It's so much, it's such a bigger number. So if any of these billionaires just pooled a billion of each of their billions.
Elon Musk has $400 billion.
He could do it.
I know. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, you can't spell felon without Elon. Now, Justine, tell where everyone can find you, where you're on the road, all that kind of stuff. Coming up.
I do a monthly show here at the Comedy Store called Shimmy Shimmy Ya. As Justin said at the beginning, the next one is next Monday, this coming Monday. I believe the date is the 27th of January. Kumail Nanjiani, Bobby Lee, Andrew Santino, Josh Adam Myers. It's going to be great. I do that monthly. Also, my podcast, Glitter and Garbage, Into the Spelling Verse. If you're a 90210 fan, we're rewatching and breaking down all the episodes. It is so fun to rewatch. It's such a ridiculous show. It's like a comedy. It's like the greatest comedy I've ever seen.
That's awesome. And make sure to, check her out wherever she is. And also, I just want to say I have some dates as well. Hold on. God damn it. I thought I had this like... Also, you can catch me at Zany's in Chicago on February 11th and Phoenix, Arizona at the Desert Rose. I wanted it to be Desert Rose. It is at the Desert Ridge Improv, not Desert Rose.
Very
February
different.
13th. So if you need a date for Valentine's Day, come see me in Phoenix, and also February 23rd, San Francisco. Also, you can check all my other dates on my Instagram at Justin Martindale. And Justine, pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
It's always good having a friend back.
I know, and I'm so glad we got to podcast again.
Yes. And as always, we will see you next time on the Just Saying podcast. You guys have a great week. Bye.